Hello and welcome. Today is the 22nd of February 2024. In the garden with Mir. Just come back from my hike and watered the kale, chard, and lettuce, parsley, carrots, goodies in the greenhouse. I'm really excited because we've had a good amount of rain, and so there's more green grass here in the garden than there's ever been. I planted grass seed last year and it's taking off. Yay! There's actually never been grass in this area before. It's really exciting for me. It also gives me more to do when I'm home, like trimming the grass, because as soon as the weather is really warm, we get snakes here. And so, yeah, they like to hide in cool, tall grasses and such. So anyway, it's worth it because, oh, it just feels so good when there's so much life in the area. And yeah, just like 2 summers ago, walking out here barefoot, you risked splinters and all sorts of little things getting in your feet. And now there's plush, soft green grass. So thankful. Yeah, so I just wanted to take a few moments and say hi, check in with everyone, and yeah, I'm kind of reflecting on the theme that came up this month around Valentine's Day. It was really interesting. Like Diem and I have never celebrated Valentine's Day that I can recall, and we'll be together 5 years, like I think next month or so, this spring anyway. And this month, whenever that was, last week or something, he came home earlier than normal and showered and got dressed, and he's like, all right, come on, like, I'm taking you out, be my Valentine. And I went along with it. I was like, okay. So I got dressed and I got packed my water and whatever I wanted to bring to town, and I got outside of the front door, off the porch, like onto the front walkway. He hadn't even closed the door yet, and I was like, what are we doing? Like, I don't really want to go out. Like, we don't make a trip to town on events like this, it just doesn't make sense for us. Like, why would we do that? First of all, neither one of us really like crowds, and we don't really go out. And so I was like, why would we go out on this night? Yeah, it was interesting. And I was like, it just doesn't resonate with me. I don't want to. So I went back in the house and put my yoga pants back on. Anyway, I went in my studio and did some more art, and like, I just did what I wanted to do the rest of the evening. And it was so interesting. Like, I wonder why, of all times now, like, what came into his mind that made him think like, oh, today should be the day that her and I start celebrating some commercialized holiday. Like, no offense to people who do, it just isn't my thing. It's not been our thing to do that. So anyway, I was like, happy that I didn't force, like, that I didn't go along with something that felt kind of like he was almost like forcing or trying to make something happen that didn't feel natural to either of us. So anyway, Yeah, I've just been kind of reflecting on how life is set up for people to, or how our society, at least here in the United States, is set up to really encourage people to participate so heavily in a materialized world. I mean, what is Valentine's Day all about? What is it like? We're supposed to spend money on chocolates, which aren't good for us anyway, or flowers, or something like this. Yeah. Or what? Like, I really feel for people who are in relationships and they're like, what makes this day different than any other day? Why do I need to go out and spend money on stuff, on material stuff, to prove like my feelings or my love, or whatever it is that is supposed to be proven, and what people buy on this commercialized, materialized day. I mean, is it considered a holiday? I wonder if some of the other countries in the world recognize Valentine's Day. Who is Saint Valentine? What is that? I mean, I don't even know the origin of the holiday. I do know that for years I would take myself out and treat myself, like go to a concert in Napa, California, or go to like the Vichy. I did a couple days at a natural spring place, and then got all dressed up and took myself out to dinner. And yeah, I guess it was just because I was wanting to prove to myself that I could treat myself. I didn't need a Valentine, but since then, now I know I don't need to prove anything. Like, my self-care, my daily self-care, how I show up for myself, is all the evidence of self-love that I need. I do take myself out on a weekly artist's date right now, because I'm working along in this book called The Artist's Way. I've mentioned it before, I'm sure. But what I discovered this week when I went out on my artist's date, so I took myself to a town called Sutter Creek, and I guess it's about 45 minutes drive from where I live. And I stood at the kitchen for a while, and I was telling Dee, I'm like, should I make my own salad and bring it like I did last week when I went to Murphy's for my artist date? Or like, should I treat myself to lunch today? And I was just kind of like talking out loud, trying to figure out, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And so I decided I was going to treat myself. So you know what? I'm going to take myself out to lunch. And so I did. And I went to a restaurant, and I got the soup and salad combo. And I was eating the salad, and I was laughing at myself, like, gosh, I make such a great salad at home that this salad doesn't really compare to the salad that I would have made for myself. And I was thinking, it's not even organic, right? It's not advertised as like all organic ingredients. And I, at home, I only purchase organic. And so, okay, tuning into this. And then I was really happy that I was sat at this high, tall table in the window. And it was a beautiful day, so I could see outside, and the sun was coming in. And there was two people sitting together. I don't know if they were a couple, at the small table next to me. And pretty quickly I realized this is a very difficult conversation to unhear because normally I can unhear. Normally I can block out conversations going on around me and not hear any of it. And actually I brought some material and I was writing. And while I was writing, I actually wasn't hearing them. But while I was eating, I was hearing them, and I was wishing that I couldn't hear them. And it just made me realize that I don't even enjoy going to restaurants anymore, because the food in a restaurant is not, in the majority of restaurants that I encounter nowadays, the food is not prepared as high vibe as I would create for myself at home. And then I'm subjected to be around people that I wouldn't normally spend time with. Where the week before, when I went to Murphy's, I was in the park eating. It was great. I had all the space I could want. And you know, if somebody had come around that I didn't want to hear or whatever, I had like the space to just get up and move myself because I brought my own food. And so yeah, it was a really great experience for me, because I'm at a point now where those things that I did before out of familiarity or comfort or to socialize or whatever, those that doesn't resonate with me anymore. Not at this time, anyway. Even, oh gosh, it was earlier this month, I believe. I met a close friend in Sacramento for lunch, and we went to this wonderful restaurant that is plant-based. And, well, it's actually, I don't know, I guess they would consider themselves like a vegetarian restaurant. And the food there is amazing. But while we were there, the owner and head chef was there and, like, you know, jamming to his music and like had it really loud and stuff. And it was some cool stuff like that I thought was cool in the 90s or whatever, but it had tons of profanity in it. And then it would kind of like go to something more modern and whatever. But the majority of the music that played in the 2 hours that we were there eating had profanity in it. And I was like, dang, you know, here I am enjoying this like high vibe food, an environment that is just pumping out low vibrational energy through the music and the language that's being flooded into the environment. And it just like reminded me that so many people aren't conscious. There is a lack of conscious awareness in our cities. And so it really deepens my gratitude and appreciation for living remotely, living out in nature. Not totally wild, but you know. I mean, we've got a neighborhood not bobcat, it's big. It's like as tall as our neighbor's dump truck. He got it on his night cam. Mountain lion, that's it. We've got a resident mountain lion, bears, coyotes, fox, bunny rabbits, turkeys. Yeah, it's been great. Transitioning to living in the quiet, in nature, away from the cities. Something that's really an easy easy start for people who want to begin awakening their consciousness, who are feeling like, well, gosh, maybe I don't realize the effects that the music that I listen to and stuff have upon my consciousness. I think it's a really very doable, reachable goal, to start with paying attention to what a person watches and listens to. The music that we listen to is programming our subconscious in the language that we are hearing or singing along to. And so it's a good start just paying attention to what music am I listening to? What am I singing along to? What type of programs am I watching? My friends used to laugh at me when I still lived in Sacramento, or when I'd go hang out sometimes, and I'd get introduced and oh, she doesn't have a TV, this one, and people thought that was so strange. What? You don't have a TV? And so I haven't had a television in 10 years now, and I give thanks that I don't subject myself to all of the programming through the commercials and oh gosh, and just content that is designed to dumb people down. Now, I'm sure there are some programs and stuff that you can tune into, people can tune into, that are a little more high vibe and educational. But even then, you have to really ask yourself, who is the creator of this? What is the message that they are wanting to spread through this programming device, right? That's what a television is trademarked or registered as, a programming device. So anyway, I just want to share that because perhaps it could be a fun challenge for any of my loved ones that haven't yet considered oh, well, let me experiment and see how the music I listen to or the programs I watch affect my own personal energy. And as a little experiment, there's an invitation. You could listen to only music that had inspirational, high vibe lyrics for 24 hours. See what that does to your mood, your energy level, the language you find yourself using in communication with others. And then you could, if you really wanted to go for it, listen to some hardcore whatever music the next day that's all full of curse words, curse language, and all that heavy, low vibrational stuff. Sing along, and if that's what you're used to doing, and see how your energy feels, what your language is like, what your energy that you're emitting from yourself is like the following day. Play. Well, I wanted to keep these short, and I'm getting to 20 minutes now, and so anyway, there's just a little experiment you could have fun with, and let me know how it goes. And in the notes of this video, I'll put down, I'll list some of my favorite songs to sing to that help like just raise my vibe and keep me in that light beaming life force building energy. So I'll share that down below. If you're like, I don't even know where to start, like by finding music that I would want to sing to that's high vibe. So yeah. Alrighty. Well, let me know how you're doing. Reach out, say hi. Oh, I'm hosting a once a month art gathering. It's just loved ones of mine so far that that join me on the third Sunday of every month at 10 a.m. Pacific for 90 minutes. We do a brief little check-in and then a warm-up, get our bodies warmed up, and then we get into our own projects. Everyone comes with their own thing. Paper making, mandala painting. One of my friends was working on her hair wrap this week, and I've done some watercoloring and acrylic painting, and it's just whatever it is that you might want to work on that's creative and fun for you. We just do it together in community. And we spend our last few minutes sharing, and that's it. So I will also share the link for that pretty soon. If there's an interest in that and you haven't reached or received that from me already. Okay, loved ones, thank you so much for spending these minutes with me. I'm really grateful for you and your presence in my life. Ciao for now. Mwah.